Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Friday, December 1st, 12:09 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Looking at Finviz, look to check out checking out Finviz to see the traditional indexes here. We can see that Dow, Nasdaq, S&P 500, Russell 2000 are all having an okay day. Dow, Nasdaq, S&P up well, 0.5%. Russell 2000 up 2.5%. That's rather rocking. So that's kind of cool. I like it. Looking at the S&P 500 in depth here. The what is it? What section is this? Uh, yeah, restaurants, travel services, apparel, restaurants, home improvement, footwear, Nike. Anyway, railroads. Anyway, some sectors are pretty darn green, but in general, not the hottest day in the world for the S&P 500, but I think it's going to close with a green day. Cool. All right, looking at the DXY up here, top left-hand corner, DXY. On the daily, we can see it's been trending down. These are all daily charts. It did make a run this week, but it found a rejection on the 200 moving average on the daily chart. Now it cannot. Now it's kind of probably going to continue getting smacked down, and depending on who you are, that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you're a commodities trader, crypto trader, human being with an intact soul, it's a good thing. If you're a reptilian overlord, then that kind of is terrible. But so anyway, but there you go. Downwards channel on the daily. It tried to get out of it, but it looks like it's getting smacked down on the 200 moving average on the daily chart, and that actually is kind of a cool thing. So dollar strength index, bam, it's not making that run that it wanted to. Looking at oil, basically just U.S. oil is the ticker. Tried to make a bounce above the 200 moving average today. Well, actually about 2 or 3 days ago. Couldn't quite do it, getting rejected. So interesting. I think there's a lot of manipulation here, honestly. So keep that tank full because you are definitely dollar cost averaging when you're buying gas these days. So it's at a low. Definitely take advantage of that and fill your tank up this weekend. Not financial advice or automotive advice either, but I'm just saying I'm doing it because it will not stay repressed very longer. I do think some of the Middle Eastern countries, I think it was Saudi Arabia, and who else was it? I forget which countries, but they kind of agreed to go down like 1 million barrels less a day or something like that. So we're going to see this can only stay repressed so long. I think there's a lot of shenanigans going on that is keeping the commodity of oil down. So take advantage of it. If I could fill some 55-gallon drums of up with gas right now, I'd be doing it, to be honest with you, because that's just not going to stay that way. And it ain't that way. This is not reality. Also, you could kind of see, if you wanted to be creative, this is kind of a head and shoulders, and it failed. So let's see what happens. My guess is you'll probably eventually see that rejection off the. No, you're probably going to eventually see that break above the 200 moving average. This is just not going to. That does not match reality. So right here, looking at gold. Gold is the daily chart. This is a beautiful run. I love seeing it. Bounce of the 200 moving average back on the 13th of November. That thing is moving. Got some serious velocity now. Gold is back. It's moving. Good. Looking at silver right here, it was struggling for a while to get above that 200 moving average. It's broken above it on the daily, tested it, now it's moving up. So gold and silver rocking. Oil, this will not continue to be to be dumping. I'm going to get some puts on oil because I think we'll see. I'm not sure. I know this is Bitcoin Daily and I'm pining on about oil, but this is not reality. Gold, silver, that's reality. Dollar strength index dumping, not being able to make a rally, that's reality. Oil dumping, being repressed, not being able to get over that 200 moving average, that's not reality. So I'm going to play that thing anyway. Powell, you have a problem. Gold hits an all-time high as markets price in rate cuts as soon as March. Don't count on those rate cuts. Who knows what's going to happen? But, gold and silver are rocking, and I think that they might be actually rocking. Gold and silver are rocking, and Bitcoin is rocking because I think the smart people have a feeling he's going to continue raising those. I just don't think that the empire is done crushing the middle and lower class. Middle and lower income. I don't think they're done. I don't think so at all. Anyway, looking at cryptometer.io, we're seeing Bitcoin trading volume at 5.5 billion last 24 hours, up 25%. That is pretty damn rocking. I'll take it. I like it. Looking at this hourly chart for Bitcoin, we're seeing this nice price action we're having today. I think it's about done for the day probably, unless maybe it does find this natural support spot and make a bounce. But one thing I will say is when it did run today, this is an hourly chart. It's like 1, 2, 3 hours ago when it really made a push. It wrecked a lot of shorts. And you know what? F y'all. Good. Believe in something. Stop just shorting all the time. Bunch of wannabe gangsters. Anyway, 37% long, 62% short on Binance for Bitcoin. So definitely the big volume, the big money is short in Bitcoin right now. But well, we saw how they got wrecked a few hours ago. Let's see if it happens again. Anyway, it has probably gone about as far as it's going to go today, at least. But we'll take a little bit closer look at that. I wonder. Looking at the top 20 exchanges in general, they're all a mix of green and red. Rather interesting today. So that's rather strange. You'd expect on a day like today, this is spot trading volume, and in general, mixed green and red today. So odd. Anyway, not as much volume as I would expect on the exchanges for spot trading. Looking at Bitcoin coming in at 38,698 right now. It did wick to 39,000. That's very, very exciting. And looking at some of these alts, they're amazing. Terra Luna Classic, Lunc looking hot. I like that. It's a great project. Mutable, another cool one, IMX. That thing is running. And what else? Frax, whatever that is. I didn't even know about that until recently. I've seen it start to show up. R-Wave, AR. It has I like it just because it's called AR. Man, it's good enough for me. Armalite, is up 8.8% today. So a beautiful day. Today the market has really let some alts move. And there's many more than are just here, of course. But the top 100 is a nice green wave for those. I like what I'm seeing. I wonder how Ruin is doing. Let's see. Where you at, Ruin? You gotta be here somewhere. Where you at? Ruin is it not even on here today? Or am I just not seeing it? Come on, where is it at? That doesn't see it. Interesting. Oh well. Anyway, let's rock it. Let's do you know what? I think it's because they call it Thor. Where you at? Yeah, Thor chain. Ruin. Oh wow, down 1.9%. Guess that one was running earlier in the week, or earlier over the week. Earlier in the week, yeah. Anyway, so here's Bitcoin, which you've all been probably waiting for. Now, if we look, this is a 45-minute chart. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's go to a 4-hour chart and get rid of some of this chop here. That's better. So a 4-hour chart, you can definitely see that we had, a battle here in the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. This thing is moving now. Got some nice sideways action. Well, gradual upward sideways action. Something I like is you have a lower low, you have a low, then you have a higher low, and you have a higher low. And most likely you're going to see another higher low and a continuation. This is looking very, very good. If we do notice here, you can see that in the squeeze indicator, we've given some back. We're starting to run again. Directional index in the green, climbing, ADX climbing. That's really beautiful. Volume is good enough to keep this thing going. So there's a very good chance that really we might be seeing right now in the 4-hour chart really is, I'm going to take a drilling a little bit deeper here. I do think we might be seeing, if we look at how this rolls, let me fire up a ray, horizontal ray. If we go right about here, boom, we've kind of wicked down to that level. So I think we very well may have just simply, this would totally make sense as a bounce spot. And these purple candles are called candles by Sam. When you see them purple, that means it's 3 in a row going up. Yellow is 3 in a row going down, where the bodies are stacked. So these beautiful, nice uptrends is a nice, beautiful upwards motion. Like at your low, your higher low, your higher low. Really, you call this another higher low right here. And I think we're probably going to see another higher low. And, it would not surprise me if this next higher low ended up being right about there. So is it over? I can't tell you. Nobody really knows for sure, but definitely Bitcoin is looking great. DXY is dumping. Gold and silver are pumping. Indexes are not that incredibly hot except for the Russell today, which is nice because that's the smaller cap companies. And I think that actually reflects the economy a little bit more quicker Then well, the market it reflects a lot more to me quicker than the S&P 500. S&P 500 is kind of a slow lagging indicator. The Russell 2000 is a lot more quick. So I'm going to call it right about here and just say you can see an upwards channel. Not exactly lined up too perfectly there. Let me see if I can fix that. It's a little bit, yeah, we got a nice upwards channel here. I like what I'm seeing. So this would make sense. This is the heartbeat of the upwards channel. And I mean, there we are. This would be a natural bounce spot. And so I think we'll probably see something like that. Maybe another run to the top, something like this. Let's see what happens. Weekend's coming, volume's going to slow down some. You can't be too sure. But I like what I'm seeing. I think Bitcoin's really looking strong. And like I say, with the dumping, with the dollar strength index not being able to rally, and gold and silver pumping, that's very, very good. Traditional markets really not reacting to it in any remarkable way today. The DXY, I would expect the DXY kind of dumping. I would have expected more of a run, but they're in the green, good enough. Traditional markets, I like what I'm seeing. Oil, like I say, being repressed, held. Don't think that we're the only ones who see this. I mean, a lot of people are seeing, the state of oil right now, and they're keeping the sucker repressed. But like I say, as the, I think it was, sorry, I don't want to beleaguer it, but I forget what countries were going to curtail their oil production. They're going to push this back up. That thing will break the 200 moving average again, and this thing's going to start moving. Like I say, if depending on global climate, we could see $150, barrel oil easily. So just beware. We ain't got no reserves anymore, thanks to our brilliant strategists in the administration. So we are very, very affected. And of course, we don't have any pipelines coming into the country because they hurt people's feelings. And so anyway, okay, I like what I'm seeing. 4-hour chart is a daily chart. Daily chart is very, very powerful. If you look at the daily, actually, you can kind of see, head and shoulders really, there's your shoulder, there's a head, there's a shoulder. You thought it was going to fail, but it ran, they're quite interesting patterns to look at. Let me go on the daily here. Let me rock a little bit. Let me actually do to make it cleaner, a 3-day chart. And I want to just show everybody something here I think has value. If we do a fib here, let's go way back to when we were at like 3K back in March of 2020. And do this fib sequence, and you see a lot going on here. You see a lot going on. So of course, in the daily, we're above the 200 moving average. That's a groovy thing. We were hanging out here forever. This is a 3-day. So in the 3-day, of course, we're above the 200 moving average. We are on the daily as well. For a long time, we've been really stuck in this 618 golden pocket. And you can actually see in that 618 golden pocket, quite actually, you can see there is kind of a head and shoulders played out, and boom, it took off. So basically, we are now we got that 618 golden pocket land that was just really, really hard to deal with, and I can definitely say that if you were watching it, it was what I call like a whale range, because they were just sitting like right here. They were just buying the top. And then they were selling the top and just buying the bottom, or shorten and long and up and down. So this was definitely a range that those who can manipulate were manipulating and playing the game. But we've broken out of that range. And now we've gotten past the .5 fib level on this huge fib sequence that I think has a lot of value. I really, really do. Let me actually do copy a link to this one. These links don't always look that great. We'll see if you can, I'll put it in the live chat and see if you guys can actually, make use of that. But this fib sequence, you can look at the levels. It's just tight, And I think we've gotten enough upwards velocity that we're going to hold that .5 fib level. And really, that the 618, even though we were here for a damn long time, we even visited the 786. These are proud places, powerful places to bounce. And so this is a lot of time that we're looking at here. And so, this visit to the 786 and not losing it, powerful. Hanging out at the 618 golden pocket, powerful. Now making a move and breaking that .5, powerful. Is it bull season? I'll tell you what, For the moment, I actually am long. I'm not going to short with daily little bits of difference here and there. I'm always doing that dollar cost averaging. I got my hodl, but I do swing. Well, I swing in Bitcoin. Okay. And I would say that I myself, as far as my trading in and out when it comes to Bitcoin, I am really pretty confident we're going to see at least a run to the 382 here before we see any resistance. And that would make sense because if you were to delete all of this, okay, and then just do array here where you see natural support and resistance right there, that's right about the 382. So it would not surprise me if we begin to see some resistance there. And that would just logical via TA. You could almost, you can even see it really like right here. You can see right in here, definitely, previous support and resistance. So, we might around 40,200 start to see resistance. Around 44,500 might start to see some resistance, but it's all about, how you're playing it. Are you going to sell then? Are you going to short then? Are you going to just, you're hodling? Depends what you're doing. But I'm just saying, for me, when it comes to my longer swing trades, I'm expecting a nice upwards movement until 40,200. And then I'll evaluate that, see how we're looking. Also around 44,500. And then we'll evaluate that and see how we're looking. This just fits. This chart is very, very good. Now, for fun, I just wanted to throw in something here. FCON is an interesting FCON versus USDT. You can play it on KuCoin, Gate.io, Bybit. It's out there. And this one here, I'm going to go to a more sane chart. Boom. And this one here, it's starting to chill a little bit, but it's not going to last for long. This thing will probably continue running. I just wanted to show this because there's a lot of alts out there. Like I was watching this thing here in this in this range. I was watching my little fib sequence here, and I was like, okay, I have a feeling it's going to run, and well, it certainly did. This thing's on fire. It's looking great. I would just, I just wanted to share this with you because a lot of alts are looking, very, very good. And this one here, it's given a lot back, and this guy's got a lot of room to run. So, because definitely you can see over this long, let me actually clear all this stuff out here. You can see this is something you're going to see if the market gets bullish with alts. Well, if it gets bullish for Bitcoin and commodities and such, one of the things I think you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of alts that are like this. This thing has consolidated for a long ass time down here. You can kind of say that you're looking at like from December 2022, this thing has basically been not doing much. Now it's starting to run. And so when you start to see this pattern, you're going to see it in alts. You're seeing it already, but you're going to continue seeing it. They gave it all back. They found their true value. You know what I'm saying? And now you're going to see this run. And don't be surprised if they don't go back right to where they started back in the day, or at least a good ways to it. So just something to think about is you can always do a fib like this. You can always say, okay, I want to know what this thing is going to do. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go down like this, and I'm going to see how much it gains back. You know what I mean? So you can do it like that. And you could even, if you want it, because upside down fibs, they make me seasick too. Don't worry. Okay. You can always go like this as well. Where did it start? Where did it go? And you can start to see your levels like that. And then when it starts to do its thing, which you can see that FCON is starting to do here, you can start to see, you're going to naturally see where it's going to find resistance, and you can start to, make your trades, accordingly, how you want to play it. So anyway, let's look at one more, just some interesting stuff. Let's just do a quick little blast through some interesting alts. Doge versus USDT on Binance. Doge today let's look at a 4-hour chart, because that's just, we can't deal with the daily chart right now. Let's see. Doge 4-hour chart. Look at this beautiful thing. I don't give a crap what you think of Doge, whether it's a real crypto or whatever. I'm here to make money. Okay. I have my altruism. That's where my Bitcoin is, but I want to make money too. And I want to make more Bitcoin. And I do it by trading shit coins. All right. So if you got problems with shit coins, then, well, whatever. I make a lot of money off of shit coins. Okay. Pay the damn mortgage with it. So just, quit it. I'm here to win. And so with that said, this thing's looking great. It's cooling off. Doge on this 4-hour chart, I would expect a visit to the bottom of this channel. It's going to keep going. Do a fib on this thing here. Look at that. Fib this thing. Boom. Where's the thing looking? You know, this is looking good. We're kind of in a weak spot. You know, I'm gonna keep it on this one. I think we're gonna see a bounce off the .5 or maybe the 382. 382 is kind of close to the bottom. Well, you know, let's just watch. We'll see where this one bounces, but definitely for Doge, you know, I would expect bottom of channel to 382, which is right. 382 is right where the 200 moving averages on the 4-hour chart. Keep an eye on Doge. It's definitely gonna do something. This thing is it's decided that it's time to run. I think SHIB versus USDT. Everyone loves SHIB. I like it. I mean, come on, it's cool. Let's look at crap. So that look at SHIB. SHIB is looking interesting. You know what? It's a 4-hour chart. I'm watching this thing. It's, you know, this is some interesting action right here. It's holding that 200. I definitely could see this guy running again to one of these, you know, logical limits, that logical spots, like where you can do array here. Boom. I could see it running to there. I could see it running to here. I could see it running to here, you know, all the way up, you know, to here. Boom. So it's getting ready to move. Let's look at the indicators here on the 4-hour chart. Look at the indicators, how they looking. It's in a squeeze. ADX is low. Directional index is just starting to go. Not a whole lot of volume. I tell you what, it's right now breaking that 200. It's looking good. I like that. Let's look at a 45-minute chart and clear the deck here. 45-minute chart. It's definitely starting to get sparky. It's running. It's making a bounce off there. It's got some purple candles by Sam's looking good. It challenged, got above the 200, came back, bounced. It's moving. Oh no, man, I'm telling you, I think it's SHIB season. I think this thing very well probability this thing could definitely make some moves. It's showing me some good indicators here. I think it's on fire. I think it wants to run. I think it wants to make some Lambo money. So here you go. Not financial advice, of course, but you know what? I'm going to layer in some more in Bitcoin. I'm going to watch for those logical places where it might bounce. I'm going to maybe get into some SHIB here because I think it's actually looking like it might be about time to go. Bit of a risk right now. I definitely would have my my stop loss right below the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart because it's either going to run or not right now. So we'll see. But I like what I'm seeing. I might continue watching it a little bit, but I think SHIB's starting to get some energons going on here. I like what I'm seeing. It's not super exciting, but just I'm going to keep an eye on this thing. I'm going to keep it because, you know, you kind of could do, well, you know what you are getting, like, all right, this is kind of crazy, all right? Just bear with me for 1 second. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low, okay? Then we roll in here. Okay, and do like this, do a channel, and look at that. You know, let me actually go back here. Let's clear it. Let's do a daily chart. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger. You can't quite see it on the daily chart, but the daily chart went below the 200 moving average, made a bounce. It's staying above it. Daily is kind of cooling off a little bit, but it's not looking that bad. So anyway, guys, what can I tell you? This chart here, the green should be the 314. It is the 314. So watch out because we may find that something might happen is if it does start running here on a daily, watch out. A bounce of the 200 is good, but watch out for that 314 because it'll probably, the 314 moving average on the daily, it'll probably find resistance there as it has in the past. So tricky, crazy, but if they all start running, SHIB very well may do it. So I'm going to be watching SHIB. You know, I might get into that with a tight stop loss and just see what happens. You know what I mean? Kind of a what the crap trade, you know. Anyway, guys, that's it. So I'll try to get on as often as I can. I tell you what, if you go to Bitcoin Daily View, all right, Bitcoin Daily View here, every day for real that somebody buys me a coffee, it's $5. I promise, come hell or high water, no matter what, I will do a video the next morning. And if you mention a coin, I will look at it. We'll see how it's doing. So there you go. I absolutely promise that I will do that no matter what. So anyway, guys, take care, and I will see you as often as I can. The market's looking good. The more interesting the market is, the more I'm on. So take care, everybody.